What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. I want to get this out of the way first. My birthday is April 9th. I've decided I'm going to go live on TikTok. So yes, I will be interacting. I'm probably gonna go live on my Paul Masson Twitter, my Paul Masson Facebook, or my Facebook profile, and probably my New Litter Entertainment YouTube. If not, I'm gonna go live on the Paul Pickett Podcast YouTube. But I'm definitely gonna try to go live on like 4 or 5 platforms at once. Celebrate my birthday. Celebrate all the music I put out. Celebrate Promo Palace. Celebrate Paul Pickett Podcast. Celebrate New Litter Apparel, which you can get on promopalace.biz as well. Hopefully, Roker can get me a bottle of Dizzle by then. I can celebrate Dizzle. As you see, Dizzle right here. Dizzle right here. That's the flyers for it. And Dizzle is pretty much a premium luxury liqueur mix with agave, tequila, French cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. Check them out, dizzlebrand.com. Check out promopalace.com. That's my marketing company. And definitely Google the Paul Pickett Podcast and Google New Litter Apparel. But like I said, it's available on promopalace.biz. It's also available on Etsy.com, along with the Dizzle brand merch is available on Etsy.com. So, yeah, April 9th, I'm probably going to go live for at least a few hours, maybe several hours, depending on how I feel. But I got to get into last night's NBA games. There's only tonight's games, and tomorrow's the last day of the NBA league. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games last night. And a few of these games are significant. A couple of these games are significant to me. Let's get into the first one. Cavs beat the Orlando Magic 118-94. Cavs rest the starters, still cruise past Magic. That's good. That's a good look. They rest all their starters because they still got Cedi Osman coming off the bench, who started, gave you 19. Danny Green, I forgot. Cavs got Danny Green now. Shouts out to Danny Green, former Tar Heel, won a championship as a Tar Heel, won a championship as a Spur, won a championship as a Laker. Danny Green is a great veteran guy to have. I don't know how many years he's got left in the league, but a great veteran guy. Isaiah Mobley, Evan Mobley's brother, gave you 18 off the bench. Danny Green gave you 21 and 19 for Cedi Osman, and they still beat the Magic. But the Magic pretty much, they rested their starters as well, too. You had no Paolo Banchero. You had no Franz Wagner. You had no Markelle Fultz, Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris. So this game don't really say nothing. Miami Heat beat the Sixers. Now, this game could be a telltale. A lot of people have Miami Heat as that sleeper team in the East. Jimmy Butler gave you 24, 14 from Max Strauss, 14 from Bam Adebayo, 8 rebounds, 24 from Tyler Hero. Kyle Lowry gave you 11, 13 from Caleb Martin. Sixers, they didn't really do much. Joel gave you 21. 11 from Tobias Harris, 14 from James Harden. And this is a team that James Harden is going to have problems with. I don't know that James Harden can get going against the Miami Heat. So if they got to play, the Sixers got to play the Heat in the playoffs, that's not good. Because then it'll be all on Joel Embiid, because the Heat will shut down James Harden. I'm betting the farm on that. So that's a telltale game. That's why I don't have faith in the Sixers. Okay, next game. Portland lost to the Spurs. And, of course, the Spurs was not really – like, Popovich wasn't trying to win. But That's the thing when you're talking about trying to tank. It's hard to tell the players to tank. Like the organization can be wanting to tank. The team can want to tank by, resting star players and things of that nature, doing even more load management than usual. But players, man, when they get in, like even bench players, when they get start minutes, they're gonna want to show what they got. They want to. This is their time to show that they got something and gain minutes. So, and yeah, it's hard to really tank. It's hard to really tank. And Trailblazers had a bunch of bench players playing too. You had 23 from Drew Eubanks, John Butler Jr. 12, 16 from Trendon Watford, 16 from um, G, what is that? Jonathan Williams, which they don't even got his name. And Kevin Knox, Kevin Knox didn't even start this game. It just goes to show you how good Kevin Knox really isn't, because you would think he'd be starting this game. He had 24 off the bench, but he should be starting with all these guys. Spurs had most of their starters, though. Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, Trey Jones. You got 24 from Keldon Johnson, Diop 25, Zach Collins 21 with 10 rebounds, 18 from Trey Jones with 10 assists, and 24 from Julian Champagny off the bench. And because the Spurs are in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes and the Scoot Henderson sweepstakes. Thunder won last night, which wasn't good for the Mavericks. It's not good news for the Mavericks because they needed the Thunder. So they needed the Thunder to lose a game. So they need the Thunder to lose to, I think it's the Bulls they got to play. Thunders beat the Jazz 114-98. Jalen Williams gave you 9, 11 from the other Jalen Williams, 17 from Josh Giddey with 8 assists and 8 rebounds. Josh Giddey's going to be damn near a triple-double machine every game next year. 22 from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with 7 assists and 7 rebounds. 15 from Aaron Wiggins, and 11 and 14 and 10 from 3 other players off the bench. Jazz, that's the thing. Jazz don't even got most of their starters playing either. So Jazz is going to be interesting next year with the healthy Jordan Clarkson, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler, who's actually third runner-up of the year for Rookie of the Year right now as we speak. Denver lost to the Phoenix Suns. Like, this game doesn't really tell you much. Why is this game don't tell you much? Denver didn't play none of their starters. They played only their bench players. And Bruce Brown put up 31. And Reggie Jackson put up 20. Christian Braun 15. Denver's going to be interesting come playoff times because they picked up Reggie Jackson. And they still got Bruce Brown coming off the bench as well. And I think somebody else is inactive. I mean, but they literally didn't play none of their starters. The Suns played all their starters and only won by 4. They played all their starters and only won by 4. Yeah, it was 7 straight for the Suns. Kevin Durant still undefeated. But Devin Booker only put up 15 points. He was 3 on 12 shooting. If Denver had all their starters, no way Phoenix Suns wins that game with Devin Booker on 3 of 12 shooting. And then I don't know they're giving Terrence Ross enough minutes, and TJ Warren didn't play as well. It's crazy. So, yeah, that's the games last night. Let's get into the standings. See if they changed any. Not really. Still Minnesota at the 9th, OKC at the 10th, Lakers at the 7th, Pelicans at the 8th. Dallas needs to win all their games, and they need OKC to lose a game so they can get in that 10th seed. And let me talk about what Dallas did last game. Kyrie Irving, Tim Hardaway came out Tim Hardaway Sr. came out and said that Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic ain't leaders. I'll tell you what, Kyrie Irving might not be a leader on the court, but you know what he is? He's a freaking magician. He is the magic man. He is a freaking magician, man. I mean, you talking about what was it, the greatest show on turf? Kyrie might be the greatest show on earth. And according to Kyrie, it's flat earth, but Kyrie might be the greatest show on earth. I mean, he is a magic man. He is a magician. This dude shot a jumper and the ball went 50 feet in the air over dudes. Like, he had to shoot it so high over dudes' arms. It went 50 feet in the air. Just Kyrie Irving is a magician. Kyrie Irving can do things on the basketball court that 99% of the NBA probably only dreamed they could do. They could only pray and wish they could do. Everybody can't be everything. You know, it's enough that he's probably the greatest, one of the greatest and most efficient offensive players we've seen. I mean, I don't know that I'm 40. I'm about to be 44 come April 9th. I'm sitting there trying to think, have I seen a magician like him? Because I can tell you right now, Tim Hardaway Sr. wasn't a magician like Kyrie Irving is. Yeah, he had the handles, but I don't even know if he had Kyrie Irving handles. Some people argue that Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry have the best handles on the planet. I don't even know Tim Hardaway had the handles that White Chocolate had. Jason Williams. I mean, Tim Hardaway was just like a quick crossover guy. That's all he was. He just had a quick crossover. I mean, Kyrie Irving, I mean, the things he could do with the basketball is amazing, man. And, you know, this coming from a Tar Heel fan who doesn't really like Duke players. I don't want to say I hate Duke players. Hate's always a strong word. Hate is just always a strong word. There's too many people out here hating, man. You know, like LeBron Dick Riders and Michael Jordan haters are the same exact people. They're the same exact people. Like, hate is such a strong word. And a friend of mine keep reminding me of that when I be like, man, I hate this cat. I'm like, nah, you don't hate him. You dislike him. Yeah, you're right. I dislike him because I just dislike, you know, certain people. But Kyrie, I mean, what is the dislike about what he does on the court? And Kevin Durant, look at it. Kevin Durant, we're not asking Kevin Durant to be the vocal leader of his teams. And does it diminish his greatness? I don't think so. Because Kevin Durant is one of the most efficient scorers we've ever seen in our entire life. He's one of the most efficient scorers we've seen in our entire life. I mean, he's a 7 foot. He's way more efficient than Michael and Kobe when it comes to scoring. And he's like freaking 7 foot now. Yeah, man. Like, let's pump the brakes. Steph Curry isn't really even the vocal leader on his team. Yeah, the team pretty much goes as he goes when it's come time to score and stuff. But Draymond Green is the vocal leader of that team. If Draymond Green leads that team, if they get rid of Draymond Green, I think that would be the biggest mistake they make. I think Draymond Green has to be a Golden State lifer. Because I think once Draymond Green leaves, the Golden State culture leaves as well. I think Draymond Green is the epitome of what the Golden State Warriors culture is. You know, he really is. And somebody said the other day they look at Steph Curry as a 2 guard because Draymond Green averages more assists than Steph Curry. Because Draymond Green as a center and a forward is willing to facilitate the offense and just pass the ball and just take wide open shots every now and then when he gets them, you know. Draymond Green is the epitome of what team basketball is supposed to be. And somebody was talking about the teams right now. The best teams in the NBA are the teams that a lot of players have an empowerment on there. They're able to take multiple shots. And when I look at those teams, which teams right now do I look at as the teams with the most empowerment? The Bucks, that was the team they were first talking about. Golden State, probably Memphis, and Denver. Oh, whoa. Some people say, well, why not the Suns, Paul? Why not the Suns? Well, why not the Suns? Why not the Suns? Because somebody made a great point about Mikal Bridges. I've been hyped on Mikal Bridges going to when he went to Brooklyn. I said it over and over again. He's going to get to 20 points a game. Then when he hit 20 points a game, he's going to get to 25. He's got one game left to do that. And I'm still calling it. I'm still calling it and say he's going to get it. Or he might have two. I don't know if they got back-to-back on Friday or Saturday. I don't know how that – I got to check their schedule. But they probably only got one game left. But Mikal Bridges didn't have empowerment over at the Suns. He wasn't empowered to take all the shots he wanted to at the Suns. And look at him now at Brooklyn. He's the guy. Mikal Bridges has put up 11 30-point games since he's been at Brooklyn. He ain't even had that many all year at Phoenix because he wasn't empowered to take the shot as much as he should have. And if they could have kept to be honest with you, man, if I was them, Phoenix Suns should have put DeAndre Ayton in the trade if they could have and kept Bridges. They should have tried to keep Bridges and traded DeAndre Ayton. And you would have had Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and Kevin Durant. And it doesn't matter who you put at center at after that. Put Bismack, Biyombo, or anybody at center after that. It doesn't matter. But Bridges is better than DeAndre Ayton. He's proven it right now. And they would have him as like the fourth best guy on the team when he was literally the second best. He was the second best scorer on that team. Chris Paul cannot outscore Mikal Bridges at this point in his career. They were underutilizing Mikal Bridges. And Brooklyn, it's I'm gonna tell you what, man, Brooklyn, I think is actually the fact that they had James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, and they had to go through this situation and issues with this where Kyrie wanted out overnight and then Kevin Durant wanted out. The fact that they got what they got out of it, I like their future going forward. I would say they're going to be just as respectable as the New York Knicks. I would say they are. Going into next year, I like Brooklyn. I think they ain't going to probably be 44-36. I could be wrong. Because you still got Cam Thomas over there. They got Spencer Dinwiddie. They got Dorian Finney-Smith. They got Cam Johnson. They can move Joe Harris and get some pieces for him, which I think they will. Yeah, I definitely like their chances. I'm going to go ahead and call it who I got coming out the Eastern and the Western Conference Finals. I got Bucks clearly look like the team to beat in the East. I don't think nobody's going to beat the Bucks. Even though people saying Boston owns the Bucks this year. I got the Bucks coming out the East. And I got the Suns. I got the Bucks versus the Suns. And I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to pick who will win because I don't know. I think when it comes up to that, it'll come in. If the Bucks go against the Suns, I'm gonna go with the Bucks because of supporting cast. The Bobby Porters, the Joe Ingles of the world, the cast that coming off the bench doing their thing. Let me go to NFL.com real quick to see if there's anything newsworthy. I don't think there is. Um, nothing really to talk about. Still, I guess the big news is still Cam Newton saying, name it. I saw the list of the quarterbacks he said he would back up, and it sounds like he just wants to back him up to be a mentor role, and then he picked like maybe Aaron Rodgers. The fact it was like who was it? Aaron Rodgers. The fact that he didn't pick Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, his list was so suspect to me. His list was so suspect. And to be honest with you, if you're looking to get back in the league, he should have named every freaking starter in the league. I mean, you can sit there and tell yourself that you're better than every 30. There's not 32 quarterbacks better than you in the league. But you got to go out and prove it still. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. And that's coming from a Carolina Panthers fan. Cam Newton took us to the Super Bowl, but you're never going to really hear me spew a biased opinion and a biased view. Even when it comes to my Tar Heels, we sucked last year. We sucked. I don't know. I can't even tell you what the hell happened to Carolina Tar Heels. We sucked. We were awful. We were literally in the championship game last year. Brought back all the team pretty much except one cat that made a difference. And that's the thing. One cat, you lose one player and it can make all the difference. You lose one starter, that Brady Manning cat, whatever his name was. We lose him and it made all the difference in the world, it seems like, because we want the same team. Yeah, we got to figure something out, man. And this is not acceptable for Tar Heel basketball and Carolina basketball. And I'm a little worried for Carolina basketball and Duke basketball. If Carolina and Duke start to both kind of like fall off and plummet for a little bit, that will be awful for college basketball. Because the greatest rivalry in sports right now is Carolina versus Duke, man. It's the best. It's the best. No other hype atmosphere. Like, you talk about hate. You talk about hate without really hating. Carolina and Duke is like pure hatred without really pure hatred. It's just like hate because you have to hate. Carolina has to hate Duke, and Duke has to hate Carolina. But I have a friend, shouts out to my man Austin Babb I grew up with. He's a big Duke fan, and I don't hate the dude one bit. I don't hate him one bit. Love him to death. But when Carolina plays Duke on that specific night, we're enemies. Like Drake said, we're enemies. So nothing going on in football yet. Still waiting for Aaron Rodgers to pretty much get traded and see what happens with that. And then the draft comes in. And I actually might go live on the draft. I might go live when the draft comes. I might start doing that. I might as well start going live when at least the first round of the draft, first round of the NFL draft, and maybe at least the lottery picks for the NBA draft. And I'm going to start updating my knowledge on MMA and boxing a little bit more so I can start, talking about MMA, boxing a little bit. Just at least kind of go over who won what matches and whatnot. So once again, thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast. And I'm out. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.